Good morning. Today in Natural Resources, we are going to learn about Earth as a resource and various elements of Earth resources. So, when we are talking about Earth's natural resources, it includes air, water, soil, minerals, plants, animals, and basically the practice of conserving and caring all these resources. Okay. So, the environment, which includes both biotic and abiotic factors that affects life of an organism, or or plants or human well-being, all of the life on the earth needs food and energy sources for its survival. Okay. um, and also reproduce, procreate. So energy is basically requirement of growth based on which biomass is produced. Okay. So the growth of vegetation needs fertile soil, essential nutrients, water, sunlight, human life requirements, air, food, water, and minerals, minerals also, then materials for shelter, transportation, varieties of socio-economic and life support activities. Most of the required materials are available in raw or convertible form on the earth, and these are the natural resources of the planet. So earth's natural resources, including all the various elements like air, water, soil, minerals, fuel, plants, and animals, conservation is and indulging in the conservation practice of caring the resources, so all the living things can benefit from the from the resource itself. So all the things we need to live and survive, such as like food, water, for water is also being essential as part of your nutrient, air, and shelter, comes from natural resources. So some of these resources are like small plants can be replaced quickly after they are used. Like whenever you are consuming small plants, they can regenerate themselves again. And it can be and there are large trees that takes longer time to be replenished, but still they are renewable resources. So all so other resources like abiotic component like fossil fuels that cannot replace itself in a very short period of time, like trees and plants can do. Okay. Or water that can replenish itself with hydrological cycle. Okay. So, and whereas the biotic component, abiotic component, which cannot replenish itself in a very short period of time, is called non-renewable resources. Now people often waste natural resources and are like even if we are indulging in consumption of animal products, so overhunting can drive that species of animal to extinction, like what had happened in Dodo. Forest, if we keep on consuming cutting down the forest in a very faster rate, as it takes about 20 to 30 years to recover from, if you cut down a forested area, it will take 20 to 30 years to that forest to recover itself, regenerate itself. Okay. So that problem is always there when you are you overutilizing the natural resources. So like clearing out the forest can expose the land, and it will result into soil erosion. Okay. um, which is again, then again, when you are over irrigating or indulging into farming activity, excessive farming activity, which will again result into disintegration or degradation of the soil quality. So fuel supply will also deplete, or your soil quality will deplete, and it is all in a chain reaction, it is related to each other. So any of these elements, when they are being affected, they can also affect the other component in the nature. So here we are going to first try to define various types of resources, like atmospheric natural resources, lithospheric natural resources, hydrospheric natural resources, and biospheric natural resources. So a resource, in its that is an organism uses and consumes from environment, is what resources is. Okay. So when we are some resources are directly available for utilization, while others needs to be extracted or converted to for utilization. So normally the extraction of a resource by an organism has an effect on the environment. So the type of effect which is negative, vice or positive, and the magnitude is determined by the number of factors that it has been used, like how fast we are utilizing it, how whether it is able to replenish itself or not, or what is the quantity of utilizing these elements. That is all, they are all the factors that will determine your resources, earth resources. Now human society and culture belief can also determine the classifications of various resources. So current human society on earth uses many non-essential resources in their daily lives. Like resources are to be used only for essential activities, since they have a value in value in life. So the resources are classified in many types. So throughout human time scale, resources that can replenish itself is like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, energy resources that can replenish itself, so being a renewable resources and accepted to be available here. So and there are virtual inexhaustible resources from human consumption, uh, so which, like such type are perpetual resources, and we can say that these are over everlasting resources on the earth. So whereas resources like coal, petroleum, mineral deposits are non-renewable or exhaustible resources that once being used or materialized will not come back, or will take many years to be regenerated. So there are available in fixed amount, out of which some non-renewable resources can be recycled or reused to meet certain requirements. Okay. So non-renewable resources is one of the available, is available over a period of time and space, and this can be used and produced by human involvement. So even if there are depleted in short run, they can be replaced through natural processes. So the forest wealth, mine food, uh, then energy of energy of water, like water extracted energy like hydropower energy, wind, biomass, biogas, timber, herbs, then cattle are all considered in a category of natural resources. Like and one can use these resources under an optimal level. So overuse of these may create shortage, and overproduction may increase the population on environment. Okay. So the highest rate in which renewable resources can be used with decreasing its potential for renewal is called its sustained yield. So what is a sustained yield? Highest no, it is a rate in which renewable resources can be used without decreasing its potential for renewal, as it is called a sustained yield. Okay, just hold on. Now, exceeding the sustained yield can cause resources to become non-renewable or non-existential. So, and this will induce a resource crunch and depletion. So, this is also called as environmental degradation. Now, typical examples are like oil crisis due to the shortage of oil resources. It is called oil crisis. Like we are overutilizing these crude oil. Like although it is coming from other nations, but there is a limit of extraction of these crude oils. The fuel of domestic use, due to shortage of coal and natural gases, overgrazing of land and its impact on cattle population, the reduction in nutrient level of soil due to intense agriculture production, exploitation of groundwater, and in declining water table in aquifers are some of the examples of when we are overutilizing our natural resources. Okay. Now the concept of carrying capacity, like population size of most organisms is usually controlled by the availability of few key resources, that is limit its ability to survive and reproduce. Okay, so when resources are abundant, the population of the species grows without any damage. And when the population grows and the demand surpasses the supply amount, it says that we are in shortage or crisis, or straining the resources. So if resources are overconsumed, the population of the species will experience a decline, census and resources crunch. So the scarcity of resources leads to starvation and death. So the population size of most species reaches a steady state or equilibrium, that is defined by the availability of the limiting resources in the habitat. So the equilibrium is also called the carrying capacity of the populations. Human population are also influenced by the habitat carrying capacity. So Earth's natural resources are of several kinds, like land resources, soil resources, water resources, forest resources, mineral resources, then marine resources, animal resources, and human resources. So these are in addition to the to solar radiation and atmospheric winds that we have. So earth atmospheric natural resources like air present in the atmosphere is a mixture of gases, smokes and dust. So atmosphere contains about 5,000 million tons of gases, that is nitrogen amounting to about 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.33%, argon to 0.93%, and carbon dioxide is about, we have talked about, almost all of these are needed in one way or the other. Okay. For the life to survive and to maintain the balance of these in the atmosphere. So, water vapor present in the atmosphere is a major contributor of the condensation and cloud formation. All right. So, it leads to precipitation. So, almost all these gases which are needed in the atmosphere for the life to survive and to maintain its balance, it is in the atmosphere is very crucial. So, the water vapor present in the atmosphere is a major contributor of condensation and cloud formation. So it is ultimately which leads to various forms of precipitation like rain, snow, hail, dew, because of it. So like of in the 11 gases present in the atmosphere, which is like nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxides, and ozone are extremely important to the health of the earth's biosphere. So what is very important for the earth's biosphere is like nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone, which is extremely important for the health of the Earth's biosphere. Now, nitrogen and oxygen have a very important association with life. The addition of the nitrogen on the Earth's surface, soil, and various water bodies supplies much needed nutrient for the plant growth. Okay. Now, sun solar radiation is a major source of energy for all life support activities. Air has, to be, circulation of maintaining an equilibrium, and the distribution of heat in the atmosphere is responsible for the difference in the presence and also for the movement of the air. The wind is a major agent for a set of natural processes. It has the potential to help in producing wind energy also. So the trade wind are responsible for the monsoon and the convection current, weather, convection current, weather and climate depends on the flow of the wind. The temperature of the atmosphere is a major asset to the natural process. Some gases present in the atmosphere can change their heating rate. So, the amount of moisture present in the air is known as humidity. The major moisture there is in the air is air, and the higher is the humidity of the air depends on the temperature and the location. So humidity control the weather conditions, like monsoons are generated by difference in the heating and cooling of the air over the land and sea. Okay. So the global hydrological resources are dependent on the atmospheric clouds. So condensation cloud provides much needed rain and snow. Rainfall is the ultimate resource of all life on the earth. So global climate and atmospheric conditions form the basis of monsoon. Fresh air is blessed gift of nature for every life. So when the air inside the house is warm and polluted with smoke and dust, people come out of the house for breathing fresh air. So human beings can never survive without the air. So hence air is considered to be primary natural resource for life on the earth. So air will taken on shape of whatever thing it gets into and changes into. Okay. So air has weight. Air goes in and out of our body through lungs, the organ that is lung. And the unique property of the air are used of many industrial applications also. So the compressibility, pressure, and height, and a dynamic of air are useful in running piston, that is gunny of getting of soft and fiber materials from the while you are husking your seeds, grains, cooling, and also controlling the equipments. So the environment, so movement of air as wind blows is also used to dry object and clean the floors. Earth's lithosphere and natural resources, like land resource, include all the terrestrial ecosystem, including mountain, forest, grasslands, range, land, mangroves, floodplains, and meadows, and deltas. So, Earth lithosphere is the storehouse of various rocks and immeasurable mineral resources and groundwater to fossil fuels. The heat of the Earth's interior is a good source of thermal energy. So, soil is primarily natural resource of the ecosystem, helpful to grow all vegetation. Soil is the home of all microbes. uh, the soil fertility increases earth agricultural productivity, and soil and the soil, their physical and chemical properties are more helpful in many human activities as well. So the soil are of making bricks, potteries, and earthen structures also. So it is we as a human being, we modify soil as a resource for making bricks, potteries, and other materials. Productivity from agriculture depends on soil resources and soil quality. Man has first started to use minerals and rocks for its needs far back into ancient times, and stone has played a large role in primitive society. The stone age man used to use stones and clays to prepare things, as also use as it used to use it as a tool, which were necessary for their defenses, hunting, household articles, as well as ornaments. People use soil and mud, rocks for construction in today's time also. So valuable metallic ore, and non-metallic substances like gemstones are identified from various works, and it has been used in a very since a very historical time. Aristotle uh, was the first naturalist to classify stones, and mining of a copper, lead, and silver began in about 6th and 7th century back into the history. Large mining enterprises were started during the 15th century. So utilization of mineral resources greatly increased during the 18th century. Now, due to the progress in the industrial growth, more and more natural resources are being used in one way or the other. So, minerals are naturally occurring in organic substances, having a set of definite physical properties and chemical compositions, and many minerals are of very high practical and economical values. Okay. So when we are talking about mineral resources, and when they are being of very high economic value, they are also classified in various categories, like metallic minerals, which are included both ferrous and non-ferrous minerals. Non-metallic minerals support on various activities, and atomic minerals are helpful in generating atomic energy and also used in nuclear studies. It is used in nowadays, it has been used widely in a very wide range, atomic nuclear uh, ores. Okay. So extraction of various metals are done from the ore minerals of metallurgic category. Much of the minerals are used in many of the industries today, and they are classified in industrial minerals. Minerals form the material in many industries. Now they are the backbone of modern industries, society, and life. The list of minerals used in different industries are mineral fuel like coal, petroleum, and natural gases. Refactories, again, using fire clays, uh, kaolin and magnetite also being used in for as a resources. Now abrasive using or like diamond, corundum, and amethyst, and and granite are being used for your ornaments, to building materials, to various other purposes. Now paint from ochres and uh, ori paints, and the plasters from gypsum comes from the minerals that we harvest from non-metallic minerals from the earth. Now cement from limestone and dolomite have been extracted. Now the glasses, we get glass from feldspar and quartz. Ceramic, we get it from china clay, that is kaolin and feldspar. Insulators are extracted from asbestos. It is a natural resource, mica, and fire clays. Paper and pulp industry use kaolin, barite and gypsum also, and optical and scientific instrument using calcite, fluoride, gypsum, agate, and quartz, mica, and tourmalinize, and all these things, all the educational institution and scientific institution for research purposes use various varieties of minerals. Radioactive minerals, again, used for radiological purposes, from generating heat to generating your using it for biological purposes, medical utility, and many other purposes. Slate, talc, asbestos, salt, mica, and many minerals are used directly or indirectly in industries also. So, in addition to these, lithosphere contains a good number of building and non-ornamental stones also. So rock types like color, grain, size, texture, hardness, durability, porosity, density, strength, and sonic velocity, and also permeability are the characteristic that determines the suitability of a stone or a rock for a construction purposes. So granite family of rocks are viable in plenty in the regions of in India. It is, we have large reserves of granite. They have been used in various construction for most of the temples and public artifacts. Then you have chronite, which is in the black varieties of granite and dolite, exported to other countries as well from India. Like now, then sandstone of older geological formation have also been exclusively been used for building materials in several regions. Limestones, marble, slate, latite, then laterite, and also normal building stones are used. Lithosphere contains a good amount of gemstones, and these are commercially valuable, unique, and natural resources for global use. Now, most of the jewelry work based on available native elements like gold, silver, and copper also. Gemstones like diamond, granite, topaz, ruby, sapphire, corundum. Then you have beryl, ovalian, amethyst, jasper, agonite, emerald are notable gems resources of the globe, and it is in India is fortunate to have some of the basic mineral resources for its industry. So India is considered to be more or less self-contained in mineral resources. Okay, so the country is rich with iron, manganese, ore, along with bauxite, mica, and fossil fuels. So earth's hydrosphere also, as being a natural resources, hydrosphere is a sphere of water that encompasses the global water resources and is distributed over the land, atmosphere, and ocean. Okay, so water resources of the global include major oceans and sea, and glaciers, like glaciers and ice mountains and polar region, rivers, streams with running water, lake, ponds and reservoirs, groundwater and soil moisture, and water, water vapor. The major part of the water is saline and is present in the form of ocean or sea water. Fresh water is very limited and is found in rivers, lakes, and on the surface resources, and mainly used for drinking and sanitation, agriculture, education, domestic consumption, industrial processes, power generation, and water transportation. So groundwater resources are mainly used for drinking, domestic consumption, and industrial application when the surface water is limited. So water plays many complex role in human activities and natural system. So fresh water is one of the most essential for elements that support human life and economic growth and development. It is irreplaceable for the purpose of drinking, hygiene, food production, and fishery industries, power, hydropower generation, navigation, recreation, and many other activities also. So water is a quality equally critical for health functionary of nature upon which human society is built. The reality is 97% of all water resources is salt water, leaving only 2.5% as a fresh water, and nearly 70% of the fresh water is in the frozen form and the Antarctic and Greenland. The reminder is present in the soil moisture or lies in deep underground as aquifer or groundwater, and not accessible to human use in very easy manner. Okay, so much of approximately about 11,000 cubic kilometer of precipitation that falls on the contained each year evaporates back into the atmosphere or is absorbed by the plants. So about 42,700 cubic kilometer of water that falls on the earth flows through earth's river, and freshwater resources are very unevenly distributed. So at one extreme are desert, and for the most no rainfall happens, and on the other the most humid region which can receive several meters of rainfall a year. So this ocean and sea are you know stores houses of many storehouses of many natural depositing substances and marine life. The ocean in the earth water reservoir and ocean are the regulatory of absorbing most of the heat from the atmosphere and the land. So ocean plays an important role in determining the climate of the area, and the ocean provides many things to human population to other life forms. It is one of the more important place of recreation purposes like swimming, sailing. We can use it. Ocean serves as a resource of food like fish, and we get from ocean water. No, every natural element can be found in water and ocean, but the ocean is specially known for its salt, and sea water contains about 35,000 milligram per liter of salt. So that is almost two tablespoon of salt in ocean water. In a liter of water, if you mix 2 tablespoon of salt, that much salt it is there in ocean water, although it varies from place to place also. Apart from that, we have chlorine, sodium, sulfur, magnesium, calcium, and potassium also found in the most of the ocean or marine water. So ocean have an enormous amount of resources like food, energy, mineral, and medicine. Okay. Marine life ranges from size microscopic to as gigantic as orca whale or blue whale. Oh, okay. Now, underwater freshwater also are part of water resources. Lake as part of the surface water, and also provide a great ecological balance. Hydroelectricity can be generated from river waters, and river water can be used as for various other purposes of irrigation and agricultural activities. So, Earth biospheric natural resources. When we are talking about this, the biosphere is made of of all living on the Earth, and the smallest bacterium to the largest animal to that like whale or elephant. It includes about 3 to 30 million species of plants, animals, and fungi, bacteria, and protozoa on the planet. So the biosphere extends over Earth's surface and in a thin layer of a few kilometers in the atmosphere, and in very cold environment, in deep sea event of ocean depth, in every hot environment, biosphere is a life supporting and a global ecosystem which is surviving all by itself. So ecosystem including all or living organisms containing of biotic and non-biotic, abiotic components. The natural resources of the biosphere, which includes forest, animal health, and human resources. In addition to these, the raw materials and the process of activities like agriculture, mariculture, silviculture, aquaculture, generates a huge amount of food and other resources which govern the life and economy of a country. So forest and forest products are plenty of natural resources for use. Forests are the gift of natural nature of human and animal life. They are the native homes and sparks of wildlife and sanctuaries for birds. So, the primary and secondary resources of forest have helped the population to sustain several centuries. And forests have a variety of use of human, including wood from trees, nutrients from animal for grazing, recreation, medicine, and so on. So the timber and non-timber forest products are also essential for human uses. Uh, the complex ecological relationship involves forest and human beings and animal, like we can utilize that as a biomass or a biomass energy. So herbs like medicinal herbs, animal extract for food, and everything is being utilized, and all the population thrives on a biospheric reserves and resources. So farmers, forests, fishermen are major stakeholders of the biospheric reserves and earth in a living planet containing a lot of terrestrial, freshwater and marine species as well. Okay, so energy and biomass are major factors in the biosphere, and natural resources of the biosphere includes all species and population of the planet and animal kingdom. Biogenic chemical plants and animal extract herbs, fruits, nuts, roots, plants are used in variety ways for human needs, and therefore their availability is very limited, but their uses are very essential. The seeds, the husk, ivory of elephants, skin hide of animal, are all part of human uses, as a resource to a human use. The natural resources of the earth are not uniformly distributed and available, and purpose of the usage are also varied from varied reason. So some are the essential, strategic and critical substances, which are very precious commodities that needs to be conserved. So many of these may be renewable and non-renewable resources, and should need a proper conservation techniques to be preserving it for the next generation to utilize it. The conservation and management of the natural resources in the environment needs adequate planning and analysis altogether. Okay, now this is all for your earth's natural resources, and we can take up another topic for next day. Have a nice day.